The last night with Gloria, she seemed particularly out of control. At the end, I hadn't even put my clothes back on when she handed me a credit card. I'm getting married next month. He doesn't want to see you anymore. David, leave J-City and don't ever come back. Yeah, okay, I said, taking the card with a low voice. Gloria frowned a bit. You're not going to make a scene? I smiled gently and shook my head. No, I won't. Everyone knew I was hopelessly in love with Gloria. I pursued her for 5 years, wore out several of her boyfriends, just to have a place by her side. I would risk my life to shield her from bullets. I could also cook her a delicious meal. So, no one believed I could just watch as Gloria married someone else. Not even Gloria believed it. Some even worried I'd crash the wedding. But they didn't know I had already promised Dad to go back home for a blind date. Except when I sat in the cafe, facing 2 identical handsome faces, I was completely stunned. This? 2 of them? That's not quite right, is it? I lay down on the soft bed. Gloria hovered above me, a sheen of sweat on her forehead, her deep eyes unwavering. She always liked to leave the lights on at times like these. I vaguely remember the first night I spent with her. I couldn't even look her in the eyes. She kissed my cheek and chuckled. Aren't you the one who's crazy in love with me? Why hide now? 3 years flew by, and I was used to her wild ways in bed. But we were about to reach the end. Gloria was particularly out of control tonight. Though she was never gentle in bed, she'd never been this rough. When we were done, I was so exhausted I couldn't even lift my arms. She leaned back against the headboard, sipping her drink gradually. After some rest, I picked up my clothes from the floor. Before I could put them on, her husky voice hit my ears. I'm getting married next month. He doesn't want to see you anymore. She set down her glass and handed me a credit card. There's 10 million here, David. Leave J-City for good. My fingers gripping the clothes tightened suddenly, the knuckles turning pale with strain. A hint of bitterness spread through my heart. I closed my eyes, holding back the tears. I took the card, replied obediently. Okay. My compliance only made her frown. You're not going to make a scene? I smiled softly, shaking my head. No, I won't. Lately, she had been cold towards me, and I had already prepared myself for the split. But I had thought Gloria had some genuine feelings for me. Yet the following night, at a club she often visited, I accidentally overheard a conversation between her and her friends. A friend asked her, "Did you really dump David? He's so devoted to you, and it's just been him by your side for the past 3 years. We all thought you'd defy your family and marry him." Gloria toyed with a lighter, chuckling casually. Marry him? What are you thinking? He's not fit to marry me. Everyone could hear the disdain in her voice, looking at each other in silence. Someone else asked skeptically, if you didn't love him, why keep him around for so long? Gloria raised an eyebrow. He's clean, obedient, and low maintenance. I didn't bother to find someone else. I stood outside the slightly open door, feeling as though I'd been doused with a bucket of ice water, chilled to the bone. Yeah, I was so obedient. I couldn't even bear for her to frown because of me. She'd tell me to go east, and I'd never head west. She'd tell me to stand, and I'd never sit down. In 3 years, I'd only caused a scene twice. Once was over finding a lipstick stain on her shirt. Another was when I saw a male celebrity letting her sit on his lap. Without saying a word, I disappeared for a few days. Both times, Gloria ended them by blacklisting the other party. Someone as high and mighty as her, for the first time, explained patiently, they threw themselves at me. I didn't reciprocate. David, since being with you, I haven't been with anyone else. Stop causing a scene, come home with me. People outside described her as arrogant and unruly. So this tiny bit of tenderness from her made me mistakenly believe she had feelings for me. But it turns out whatever went on between us was never about love. It was just because I was low maintenance. For 3 years, it was all my wishful thinking. Faced with that, what was there to hold on to? I booked a flight ticket back to Q City. Before leaving, I attended a friend's birthday party. I didn't expect to see Gloria there, her arm linked with Frank's, smiling brightly. She was chatting with him, making him laugh, and he playfully pinched her waist. Gloria lowered herself to appease him. Her voice was a softness I'd never heard before. She held him, gently pecking his lips, until his facade cracked. I had never seen Gloria like that. With all her fierceness gone, her eyes full of affection. I could never behave so freely in front of her, and she would never stoop to coax me like that. Our vastly different statuses meant I was always the subordinate one in this relationship. But Frank was different. He had a noble status, one that matched hers. He wouldn't be looked down on like I was. An indescribable bitterness surged in my chest, and my eyes turned red. At that moment, Gloria suddenly looked my way. Our gazes met unexpectedly in mid-air, and her expression stiffened. Feeling exposed and embarrassed, I hastily turned away, back to them, trying to suppress the heartache. The birthday party was halfway through when I sat by the pool in a daze. Suddenly, a clear male voice fell from above. "Why haven't you left J City yet?" I turned around. Frank looked down on me arrogantly, not content with 10 million? Still trying to seduce Gloria? "David, I've seen men like you, thinking your looks could get you into the upper echelons. Think your lowly status even matches?" People from the wealthy class naturally thought themselves above others. I had no desire to argue with Frank. I just wanted to leave. But Frank grabbed my wrist. With a spoiled brat attitude, he said, "Why won't you answer? Feeling guilty? I'm warning you. Give up your dreams. To Gloria, you're no different from a male escort, just selling for higher or lower prices." His harsh words pierced me, my heart hurting. I tried to shake him off with all my might. "Let go. Go find someone else to pick on." In the struggle, he slipped, falling backward into the pool with a splash. "Help! I can't swim," he cried out, floundering. I couldn't swim either, and nervously watched him flail in the water. Fortunately, a bodyguard from Gloria's side rescued him in time. Once out of the water, he clung to Gloria, complaining, "David pushed me in. I almost died because of him. I was just about to defend myself. I didn't mean it." But before I could finish, Gloria cut me off sharply. "David, apologize." Her icy gaze cut through me like a knife. "Are you trying to get yourself in trouble? Frank is worth so much. If anything happens to him, you'd owe more than you could ever repay." I had loved Gloria for 8 years, been together for 3, shared countless intimate moments. But in her eyes, that's what I've come to. I tried hard to keep my emotions in check. "I told you I didn't mean it," I said. He kept holding on to me. I just tried to shake him off, and he slipped on his own. Frank clung to Gloria's sleeve, crying out, "Gloria, don't listen to him. He's trying to shirk the blame." Gloria believed him, narrowing her eyes and ordering, "I'll say it again. David, apologize to Frank. Otherwise, forget about taking the 10 million out of J City." I never thought she'd threaten me like that. I didn't want to back down, but if love's gone, I can't just give up money too, right? I bit back the lump in my throat and said, "I'm sorry. I hope you can be the bigger person about this." After that, I turned and left immediately. Behind me, one of Gloria's friends whispered, "Gloria, you used to say David was sweet. But when he goes crazy, he's scary. After all, he loved you so much. Being dumped, his mind might not handle it well. On your wedding day, you'd better have extra security. He might cause a scene." Gloria murmured in agreement. I walked away, heartbroken. Along with it, my feelings for Gloria faded too. This time, I could leave without any doubt. A few days after I returned to Q City, my dad started pushing me to go on blind dates. He yanked me out of bed early in the morning. Before I left, he reminded me to put on a good show, aim for a one-shot win. I couldn't help but laugh. "Dad, I'm only 27, not 37. Why the rush?" Dad had his own logic. Good girls are rare. If you don't seize the opportunity, you'll be left with the scraps. Understand? He assured me today's date was a catch. However, when I sat in the cafe facing 2 identical faces, I thought 1 in a million wasn't quite right. More like 2 in a million. Though similar in looks, their styles and vibes were completely different. The younger sister, Stella, wore a black leather jacket with piercings and silver-dyed hair, making her stand out. The older sister, Laura, wore a dark gray business suit with sleek black hair, looking very much like a successful boss lady. I was a bit confused, so, which of you is my date? Stella grinned mischievously. It's both of us. Buy one, get one free. You're lucky. I didn't know how to respond. Laura shot Stella a look. Stella, hush. Don't scare Mr. David. Stella mimed, zipping her lips shut in defeat. Then Laura turned to me with a gentle smile and said, Mr. David, both my sister and I are interested in you. If you don't mind, you can date both of us and see which one you like better later on. How does that sound? Stella chimed in playfully, of course, if you want both, I'm cool with that too. Laura gave her a look, and Stella backed down. Just kidding. Honestly, I didn't mind either of them. But dating two people at once, is that a bit too much? My mom saw things differently. If they don't care, why should you? Just see how it goes. It's not like you're losing out. As I spent more time with the sisters, being with both of them at once felt more natural. Stella's unpredictable comments still surprised me sometimes. Like when both of them accompanied me shopping, and a guy came up asking for their numbers. Stella would tilt her chin toward me and say, Sorry, you're too late. He's the one my sister and I are interested in. The guy would look at me in clear disbelief and say, Bro, you must be living it right. I'm jealous. I wished I could disappear into the ground. Even as those guys walked away, they'd glance back at me now and then. I sighed. Stella, could you cut me some slack? Stella laughed. Weren't you proud enough just now? They're super envious. I had nothing to say. Luckily, Laura always had my back. Stella, keep messing with David, and I'll cut funding for your race team next quarter. Stella immediately backed down. No way. I'm sorry. Okay? In her racing crew, Stella was the undisputed leader. But facing Laura, she was totally submissive. And Laura, 2 years younger than me, was impressively mature. No bad habits, all her focus was on her career, managing the family business perfectly. Honestly, with such talented daughters, their mom must be incredibly proud. Back in J City, as the wedding day approached, Gloria was restless. Even trying on wedding dresses with Frank, her mind was elsewhere. Gloria, what's on your mind? Frank called her several times before she snapped back. What? Frank frowned, biting his lip. What do you think of this wedding dress for you? It's nice, she replied absent-mindedly, frustrating Frank. He couldn't hold back and asked, Were you thinking about David just now? Gloria, a man from such an average background, is nowhere near worth your lingering thoughts. Frank was a cherished son in the family and grew up spoiled by Gloria. People of their status were bound to marry within their class. Compared to marrying a stranger, Gloria found the idea of marrying Frank, someone she'd known since childhood, more acceptable. Even if she couldn't give him the same love back, she could protect and care for him forever. If anyone dared to bully him, she wouldn't hesitate to stand up for him. Faced with Frank's suspicion, Gloria soothed him. I was just thinking about where to take you for our honeymoon, not some other guy. After successfully calming Frank, they tried on wedding apparel and went to have dinner. Later, she drove aimlessly after dropping Frank home, unintentionally ending up near the apartment where David used to live. She hadn't told Frank that she was, indeed, thinking about David back at the bridal shop. In fact, ever since David left 20 days ago, he crossed her mind constantly. David truly loved her deeply. He pursued her for 5 years, never discouraged by rejections. 3 years ago in Australia, during a shooting incident, he shielded her without hesitation. It moved her and she decided to give him a chance. Over their 3-year relationship, she did have some affection for him, as he was genuinely sweet. But that affection never turned into love. She never considered marriage with him. His ordinary family background was too mismatched with hers. Even if he lingered in her thoughts recently, she didn't believe it was love. It was simply a habit of having him around. Sitting in her car, a light bulb moment struck her. If she's so used to him, why not just bring him back? Aside from marriage and love, she could offer him everything else. After all, he didn't ask for much. During those 3 years, when she was just a little nicer to him, he would get all flustered and hug her, saying how much he loved her. She remembered that night by the pool when she forced him to apologize. He couldn't believe it and looked at her with red, teary eyes. He must have been really hurt and angry, but it didn't matter. He loved her so much. A little sweet talk would do, she thought. Didn't need to put much effort in. If she just called, maybe he'd happily come back tomorrow. Feeling confident, she dialed his number. But when someone picked up, it was a woman's voice saying, "Hello." Gloria tightened her grip on the phone, frowning. "Where's David?" No reply, but then she heard David shout, "Ouch, ouch, Stella, be gentle." Gloria's heart twisted in 10 different directions. She thought the person on the phone was Stella and was about to ask. But then a voice said, "Stella, don't do it so hard." Then another woman's voice replied, "Got it." Gloria could feel a vein throbbing in her forehead. She couldn't keep her cool and yelled into the phone, "What are you doing? David, what are you doing with these women?" When Gloria's angry voice came through, "Stella was just helping me with my foot. I twisted my ankle on the stairs." Clearly, Gloria had misunderstood. I took the phone from Laura and said coldly to the woman on the other end, "What's up?" Gloria wouldn't let it go. "Who were those 2 women?" "Blind dates." "You went on blind dates? Didn't you tell me to leave J-City and not bother you and your fiancé?" "I didn't tell you to go on blind dates," she snapped. "And definitely not to mess around with them. My foot's hurt, that's all. You're the one with the dirty mind." I didn't want to talk to her anymore. "Ms. Gloria, I've done as you asked and stayed out of your life. Please leave me alone." I hung up before she could say anything else, blocking her number. "Ex-girlfriend?" Laura asked. "Yeah." I nodded. Stella scrunched her nose and said, "Seems like your taste isn't great if you went for a superwoman like her." First time I heard someone call Gloria a superwoman. If Gloria heard, she'd flip. I chuckled. Let's not talk about her. Bad vibes. I wasn't sure why Gloria suddenly decided to reach out. Her wedding with Frank was just 2 weeks away. She still had time to check on me, her ex-boyfriend. Maybe she wasn't scared that Frank might find out, but I was worried. One slap was enough for a lifetime. I never expected Gloria would try to see me. The next day, when I saw her downstairs, for a second, I thought I was seeing things. She walked over, looking upset, and said something totally unexpected. "Come back with me." I was confused. "Gloria, you were the one who told me to leave." Her eyes looked dark. "I regret it." What was that supposed to mean? I couldn't figure it out. "You're not marrying Frank and want to be with me instead? Don't you think that's messed up? Why should I just go when you say so and come back when you call me?" "No," she said, staring at me intently. "I'm marrying Frank. But you need to understand, with your background, you're not fit to join her family. Besides marriage, anything else you want, I'll try to give you." She was worse than I thought. Tired and defeated, I said, "Ms. Gloria, for the sake of me saving your life once, stop messing with me, all right?" I tried to leave, but she grabbed my wrist. "David, this isn't messing around. Didn't you love me? Couldn't live without me? I'm giving you a chance, why won't you take it?" I'm usually calm and avoid arguments, but I was done. I angrily shook off her hand. "Gloria, you want me as a lover? That's not messing around?" She acted like it was no big deal. "Everybody in our circle does this. Don't overthink it." I replied coldly, "I don't care what others do. I won't cross my line. Besides, Gloria, I don't love you anymore." Confident as ever. She smirked. "You don't love me?" "Yeah, right." I ruined her fantasy. If I still loved you, I wouldn't be dating others. I'm hitting it off with my date. Might get married soon. "Gloria, you're not irreplaceable." She narrowed her eyes, searching my expression. Seeing I was serious, she threatened, "Think this through. I'm only giving you one chance. If you don't come back, you'll never get me again." I turned away from her. "I'm not taking that chance. Offer it to someone else." Seething, she said, "Fine. Don't regret it." She stormed off. But there's nothing to regret. I was just relieved to be free of her. Being away from her meant being closer to happiness. Someone like her, who doesn't cherish a thing, doesn't deserve my heart. The next day in the mall, I accidentally encountered Laura checking out her work. She stood out, Surrounded by people, it was hard to miss her. I knew this mall was owned by her family, and since she was working, I didn't want to interrupt. I turned to leave, but she called out, "David." I paused as she hurried over. "Shopping?" "Yeah." I grinned. "I saw you were busy, didn't want to bother you." "No worries," she smiled, "I just finished." "Care to shop together?" "Sure." As dinner rolled around, I decided to thank her. "How about I buy you dinner?" She agreed happily, "All right." We hadn't finished when Stella rushed in, panting like she'd run a marathon. "Want to join us?" I asked, surprised. "Hey, you're breaking the rules." Stella plopped beside her sister with a pout. "You were meeting up with David without telling me. If someone didn't post your pics in the group, I'd still be in the dark." Laura stayed calm. "I met David by chance." Stella looked skeptical and turned to me. "Really?" I nodded before she was convinced. Then she turned back to Laura. "Sis, we agreed on fair competition, no sneaky moves allowed." Her words made me laugh. "Do you have to be this adorable?" Stella smirked. "I'm this adorable. Why don't you just pick me? I promise to make you happy every day." With my sister's icy face, "You'll get tired of her soon." I teased, "You're openly declaring war on your sister? Didn't you say you wouldn't mind if I took both of you?" Stella shrugged, speaking in a tone of helplessness. "I don't mind, but my sister wants you all to herself, so I'm forced to fight back, bro." Hearing this, I instinctively looked at Laura. She was looking at me too, her deep eyes filled with obvious possessiveness. My heart skipped a beat, and I pretended nothing happened, casting my eyes down. When the dishes were served, neither of them reached for them. One was peeling shrimp, and the other was cracking crabs for me. Feeling flattered, I quickly declined. "I can do it myself, you really don't have to help." Stella, her fingers deftly pulling apart crab meat, glanced at me. "No way, your hands are for playing the violin. What if a crab leg pokes you? Is she treating me like a porcelain doll?" I replied honestly, "My hands aren't as valuable as a professional race car driver's." Stella said, "But to me, you're the most precious." She really knows how to compliment someone, making me chuckle. "All right then. Thank you for taking care of me." Stella winked at me. "You're welcome." Meanwhile, Laura placed the peeled shrimp in my plate. In no time at all, it was piled into a little mountain. I quickly stopped her hand. "That's enough. I can't eat more." Her gaze lingered on my fingers for a few seconds before she looked at me. "Okay, if you want more later, I'll peel for you." The moment our eyes met, my heart skipped again. Her dark eyes seemed to turn into a vortex, pulling me in. I calmly withdrew my hand, suppressing the thrill in my heart, and said, "Thank you." "You're welcome." Laura smiled gracefully. Life went on peacefully. I felt relaxed and happy every day. About 10 days later, I suddenly got a call from Gloria's best friend, Rose. "David, Gloria's been drinking too much lately. Can you call her and talk some sense into her?" I was exasperated. "Miss Rose, Gloria and I broke up a long time ago. Shouldn't you get Frank to talk to her?" Rose explained, "What's the point of Frank? Gloria's upset because of you." I had no interest in Gloria's affairs anymore. If she likes drinking, that's her business. Please don't blame everything on me. I'm not a scapegoat. Anything more would have been pointless, so I ended the call. Rose sighed helplessly at the disconnect. She turned her attention to Gloria, who was drunk and frowning with her eyes closed, leaning back on the couch. The wedding was tomorrow, but she didn't look like a bride. If you really can't let go of David, go get him back. Rose couldn't stand seeing Gloria looking half dead. Don't wait until his wedding day and regret it for life. Gloria, as stubborn as always, said, "He's just a man. How many do I want? Who does he think he is that I'd lower myself for him?" Rose was tired of arguing. "Fine, keep being stubborn. You'll be crying sooner or later." After Rose left, the empty living room felt especially cold. Gloria recalled how every time she was drunk, David would make her honey tea and coax her to drink gently. Whenever she complained of a headache, he would give her a soft massage on her temples. He treated her so well, even her friends often expressed envy. Whenever she was upset, he'd immediately get a ticket to see her, no matter how far. He was never petty, never taking advantage like other men could. He never asked questions she didn't want to answer, quietly staying by her side. As long as she turned around, she'd see him there. So Gloria never considered a day would come when David would say he didn't love her. Even when she dumped him, she thought he could never forget her. Yet her ears, heart, and mind all clearly remembered David saying, "I'm not in love with you anymore." How could he not love her? How could he go on dates? How could he marry someone else? Thinking about another woman holding David, she struggled to breathe. Her heart felt like it was getting pierced by sharp needles, bringing forth an intense pain. It hurt so much that tears rolled down her face, almost unable to breathe. No way, she wouldn't allow David to hold another woman. He was hers and hers only. She couldn't keep lying to herself. She indeed loved him. She wanted him back by her side. As long as he'd come back, she'd give him anything, whether it's marriage or love. Everything she had, including her power, money, and position, could all be shared with him. The sudden phone ring pulled her back from her thoughts. It was Frank calling. She remembered she had to break off the engagement with him. Upon hearing she wanted to cancel the wedding, Frank became upset, angry, and saddened. "Gloria, the wedding is tomorrow. How could you call it off? Did you think about me? How will I face people?" Gloria couldn't worry about that now and suggested, "You can tell others you didn't want to marry me. I don't mind any gossip." Knowing she had decided, Frank was still unwilling to let go. Is it for David? What's so special about that lowlife? He's not even worthy to lace my shoes. What do you see in him? Gloria's face darkened. She wouldn't allow anyone to insult David, warning harshly, "Frank, I don't want to hear that again, or don't blame me for being rude." Frank was devastated. "Gloria, we've known each other for 20 years, yet you threaten me for an outsider?" Unhesitatingly she answered, "David isn't an outsider. He's my love." Hearing her declare love for David, Frank's heart broke, but Gloria ended the call. Her mind was filled with thoughts of David. She was eager to see him, to tell him she loved him, to bring him home, and to spend the rest of their lives together. Initially, I didn't take his words seriously. But when Gloria called off her wedding to Frank and came back to Q City, asking me to get back together, I was genuinely shocked. "Are you crazy?" "I'm not crazy," she insisted, eyes fixed on me. "David, I just realized I've been in love with you all along. I wasn't buying it, yeah, right, like you love Coco. But Gloria," I added, "I'm done being your pet dog." She looked panicked and desperately defended herself. "I'm a jerk, and if those words hurt you, I apologize. From now on, I won't repeat the same mistakes and will treat you as an equal. Please, give me another chance. I'll marry you and give you everything you want. I'll put you in my heart and prioritize you above everything else. I won't see the people you don't like, and I won't do the things you dislike." Given her prideful nature, it was rare for her to say such things. But it was too late. Her promises held no temptation for me. "No need," I laughed indifferently. "Gloria, whether it's your apology or your feelings, I don't want them anymore." I had nothing left to say to her. I was about to walk away when she grabbed my arm. Her tone was more humble than ever. "Don't go, David. Don't leave me. I really can't be without you." She looked at me unhappily and let go. Then she acted shamelessly. "You promised to let me pursue you again, and I'll let go." I felt exhausted. "Is it necessary? Out of all your ex-boyfriends, you just have to come back to me?" Her eyes dimmed, a bitter smile on her lips. "But I only love you, David. These days I keep thinking about you uncontrollably. Even in my dreams, it's your face I see." My heart felt nothing. I coldly said, "That's your problem, not mine. Now please let go of my hand immediately." She stubbornly held on, but I was utterly fed up. Taking advantage of her distraction, I kicked her knee. She winced in pain, her face twisted, and she let go. I took the chance to leave. After regaining her strength, she tried to follow, but Laura suddenly appeared to block her. I didn't know why Laura was near my house, but thankfully she was there so I could escape. Laura stood in front of me, coldly glaring at Gloria, and mocked. "Trying to act tough as a woman in the street? Don't you have any shame?" Gloria retorted with a straight face. This is between me and my boyfriend. It's none of your business. Laura scoffed. You, as an ex-girlfriend, better recognize your place and stop going crazy. I echoed, Gloria, it's been more than 40 days since we broke up. Stop acting crazy and don't make me hate you more. Gloria's face got even paler instantly. I called to Laura. Let's go, no point wasting time here. Sure. Laura and I turned to leave. From behind, I heard Gloria's low plea, David, don't go with her. I pretended not to hear and kept walking. Once inside Laura's car, she suddenly suggested, I should get a couple of bodyguards for you. If your ex tries to bother you again, someone can protect you. I'll feel more at ease. I've got too much going on with business to watch over you all the time. Isn't that a bit much? I politely declined. No, it's not necessary. She won't persist for long. I know Gloria well. Born and raised in Rome, even in the elite circles, she was the one everyone admired. Someone used to being looked up to couldn't stand being ignored and rejected by me many times. Laura thought for a moment, all right? But if you have any trouble, contact me anytime. Okay, I replied, then switched topics. By the way, why were you near my house today? Just wanted to see you, Laura admitted openly. But initially, I planned to watch you from a distance and leave. You know how your sister Stella gets. If she found out I was with you alone, she'd probably freak out. I only got out of my car because I saw your ex bothering you. Thinking about Stella getting upset made me laugh. Your sister is quite something, I remarked. Laura seemed tense, her fingers gripping the steering wheel tightly, her breath held. Do you like Stella? I thought for a few seconds. Yeah, I like her. No sooner did I say that than Laura's eyes darkened. I stared ahead, unaware of her expression. But not in that way. It's more like between siblings. She's got a fun personality, and it's nice being around her. I can't see her as a peer, though. You know she can be quite immature at times. Laura's face brightened at this, smiling uncontrollably, nodding in agreement. You're right, she's too childish, not fit to be a wife. Her joy was obvious, and I turned to her, asking, hearing there's no chance with your sister makes you this happy? Of course, Laura responded candidly. I laughed along. Aren't you worried Stella will find out and beat you up? Laura shrugged it off. Nah, she can't beat me. No way, I doubted, seeing as she looked so gentle and unassuming. Not like Stella, who seemed fiercely strong. For real, Laura assured me. So don't worry about me. Good, then I'll stop worrying. In the middle of our conversation, my phone suddenly pinged with a reminder. I almost forgot. I need to grab concert tickets. I eagerly unlocked my phone and opened the ticket app, but I was too slow. They sold out in seconds. Frustrated, I slumped back in my seat, sighing, sold out again. When will I ever get to see this concert? Laura peeked at my phone screen. No worries. I can just ask the organizers for tickets. Really? Hope reignited within me. Yeah, I'm not kidding, she assured confidently. That night, Laura called to say she'd secured the tickets and the seats were phenomenal. I was beyond excited, unsure of how to thank her enough. She chuckled, if you really want to thank me, let me join you at the concert. Okay? Of course, I wouldn't say no. Having company at a concert makes it even better. The concert a week later was packed and buzzing with energy. It was more like a giant sing-along. I found myself singing along too. After every song, Laura handed me a water bottle to sip on, making sure my throat wouldn't get sore. Thanks, I said, taking a few sips, careful not to drink too much since bathroom trips were a hassle. Through the whole concert, Laura's eyes were mostly on me rather than the stage. I didn't mind her gaze. In fact, I enjoyed the attention. At the end of the concert, the crowd was massive, nearly separating us. Suddenly, Laura grabbed my hand. I don't want you getting lost, she explained. Her palm felt warm, a comforting contrast to the chilly early fall air. Looking down at our clasped hands, I felt a sweetness I couldn't ignore. Amidst the crowd's noise, I distinctly heard my heart pounding out of rhythm, a sign of being truly moved. Yes, I realized I had developed feelings for Laura, so I held her hand tighter. Laura seemed to sense my compliance and squeezed my fingers a bit more. Out of nowhere, Someone pushed her from behind, and she fell into my arms. Without thinking, I lifted my hand around her waist. "You all right?" She looked up, her eyes meeting mine, and blushed. "I'm fine." With a slight smile she said, "Shall we go?" We walked until it opened up, still hand in hand. Neither of us showed any signs of letting go, and honestly, I wasn't planning to either. Felt so natural. There was a sweetness in the air. I couldn't help but smile slightly. Laura's low and magnetic voice reached my ears. "Why are you smiling?" I looked up and shot back. "Why are you?" Her smile was bigger than mine. "Because I'm happy." She gazed at me with warmth. "David, thank you." "For what?" I asked. "For not pushing me away. So does this mean we're together now? Can I hug you?" She nodded, and I gently pulled her into my arms. The hug was light, as if I was holding something precious. After a while, I suddenly thought of something. What about explaining things to Stella? "Don't worry, I'll take care of it." "Okay." Even in the car, Laura didn't let go of my hand. I chuckled. It's dangerous to drive with one hand. "Still not letting go?" She pouted playfully. "I just want to hold your hand forever." "All right." I nodded. She smiled, her expression soft and beautiful. Feeling a surge of emotion, I traced the corner of her eye. "Has anyone ever told you your eyes are beautiful?" "Plenty, but it means more coming from you." She tilted her head slightly, her lips brushing against my palm. The soft touch sent tingles through my hand. "Wow, you could have warned me about that." "Well then, Mr. David, may I kiss you?" Seeing her sincere, I replied, "Sure." The next moment, she leaned in and kissed me. It was gentle, her lips softly capturing mine. We only pulled apart when we needed air. Laura drove me home. As we walked hand in hand, I unexpectedly saw two figures. "When did you start dating my sister?" "David, are you with her now?" Stella and Gloria spoke at the same time, and my head started to pound. What a mess. Their expressions were particularly grim. Stella angrily accused her sister. "I couldn't find you all night, and I knew you had gone to see David." "Laura, you promised you wouldn't do anything behind my back, and now you've stolen my boyfriend." Laura looked at her sister calmly. "Stella, David and I are together because we both feel the same way. To him, you're just like a sister." Stella looked at me with hurt. Is what she's saying true? Though I didn't want to hurt Stella, I nodded. "So don't worry, I'll make sure your sister and I take care of you." Stella was bummed, mumbling, "Boyfriend turned brother. Is there a girl out there as unfortunate as me?" She looked so pitifully funny. I hadn't even thought of how to console her. Out of nowhere, I felt my other arm pulled by Gloria. "David, you can't be with anyone else. You promised me forever." Before I could react, Stella stepped up and shoved Gloria away. "Get your dirty hands off." Stella sneered at Gloria. "David doesn't even like me. You think he would like you? Just go away before I lose my temper." Clearly, Stella couldn't get mad at her sister, so she took it out on Gloria. But Gloria ignored Stella, focusing entirely on me. For the first time, I heard her plead in such a low voice, "David, please, don't be with her. Come back to me. I'll treat you right. Anything you want, even the moon, I'll get it for you." But her words didn't move me. I calmly told her, "All I want is for you to disappear and never show yourself to me again." Gloria's face turned pale, her voice trembling. "Do you have to be so heartless?" Laura pulled me back slightly. "Ms. Gloria, when David loved you, you didn't cherish him. You have no right to beg him now." Gloria's eyes were full of pain as she fixed her gaze on me, continuing to plead, "David, don't be so cruel to me, please." I wanted to cut it short. "Gloria, stop clinging to me. The way you're obsessed with me is disgusting. Seeing you makes me sick. Get it? I'm not great at confrontations, so that was the harshest thing I could say." Gloria felt my disgust clearly. Her eyes welled up with sorrow, and her lips trembled. Still, she didn't give up so easily. For the next month, she trailed behind me daily, squeezing in declarations of love and regret whenever she could. She was relentless, to the point where I felt like my ears might fall off. Until one night when Laura stayed over at my place. Gloria stood downstairs, lost, smoking through the night. After that, she disappeared from my life. I heard she went back to J City and drowned her sorrows in clubs and drinking. Even though Frank, the fiancé who broke off their engagement, wanted her back, she wouldn't let him near. But their business wasn't mine, and I soon forgot it. After I started dating Laura, Stella didn't have any direct conflicts with her sister, but things were awkward for a while. I was worried I'd mess up their relationship, so I decided to have a talk with Stella. That day, she sat on a step with a cigarette and lazily asked, "Here to gloat?" I sat a foot away from her, not at all. "You're my friend, and I hope you're happy." She took a drag, flicked the ash, and with a mischievous grin said, "Want to make me happy? Break up with my sister and date me." I was at a loss for words again. Seeing me at a standstill, she offhandedly said, "I'm kidding, don't take it seriously. My sister suits you better. She's steady and reliable, and you'll be happy with her. As for me, don't worry. I'm a free spirit. I'll get over you soon enough." But her smile showed a hint of bitterness. "Stella, I want to comfort her. You're really awesome. Anyone who spends time with you will like you." Her eyes were a bit red, and she turned her head to avoid my gaze. After a moment, she said, "Do you know when my sister and I first saw you?" I was surprised. "Wasn't it at that blind date?" Stella shook her head. "Of course not. Stella first met David in Australia 3 years ago. She was there for a competition, and Laura was on a business trip. Coincidentally, they were staying at the same hotel as David and Gloria. At that time, David wasn't Gloria's boyfriend yet. Stella watched David as he chased after Gloria every day. He was attentive, bringing her tea and caring for her, even though Gloria didn't seem to care about him. He never got discouraged and kept being kind to her. Stella couldn't understand how someone could be so selfless without any reciprocation. She bet with her sister, "I think he'll give up in 2 weeks tops." Laura had a different opinion, maybe not. Laura's intuition turned out to be more accurate. A month later, on the streets of Australia, during a chaotic shooting incident, David took a bullet for Gloria. Stella still remembers David's white shirt stained red with blood. She saw him lying in Gloria's arms, barely alive, and it left a deep impression. Laura was just as shocked. They couldn't fathom how someone could be so foolish, risking their life without expecting anything in return. The sisters discreetly visited David in the hospital in Australia. Once they confirmed he was out of danger, they returned home. But for the next 3 years, that white figure never faded from their memories. Later, by chance, they found out David and Gloria broke up, and he planned to go back to Q City to date. Both sisters didn't want to back down and decided to compete fairly. Losing to Laura was disappointing for Stella, but she accepted it gracefully. One was her sister, and the other was the man she loved. She just wished them everlasting happiness. I never realized our story with Laura and Stella started so early. Still in shock, I watched as Stella stood up, wearing her usual playful smile. "All right, from today onwards, you're officially my brother-in-law. I'll definitely drink a few extra glasses at your wedding with my sister." She walked forward with her left hand in her pocket, waving her right hand casually. "All right, I'll leave you two to it. Don't want to be the third wheel." That's when I noticed Laura walking toward us. As Stella passed her sister, she gave her a playful shoulder bump and raised her chin cheekily. "Oops, didn't see you there." Laura rolled her eyes at her sister's childishness. In her usual proud manner, Stella said, "Wishing you and your hubby a lifetime of happiness." She hummed lightly and strutted away. Laura watched her sister's retreating figure and chuckled softly. I stepped forward and linked arms with Laura, sensing she felt relieved now. She gave me a peck on the temple. "What do you feel like having for dinner? Could you make some steamed fish for me?" "Of course." The sunset painted half the sky red as we strolled hand in hand. "So, you were into me 3 years ago, huh?" I teased. "Did Stella tell you all that?" She gazed at me softly. "Back in Australia, I thought if I could have you, I'd have no regrets in this life. Luckily, fate was on my side and brought you to me." Smiling back at her, I suggested, "How about I give you a little reward for loving me all this time?" Gloria raised an eyebrow curiously. "What reward?" I leaned in and whispered, "I've got some black lace ready for tonight. What do you think?" Her cheeks turned pink, and she replied hoarsely, "Okay, I guessed it would be quite an unforgettable night."